Hi, today we are going to do the next topic, that is effect of water table on bearing capacity. Okay, now what I have preferred is this NPTEL notes which are available for free. Only thing, I have done some changes with respect to the terms that are used. Okay, so for ultimate bearing capacity, if I'm not mistaken, they are using QU, whereas we have so far been using QF. So I have done some editing on the same text. However, the main original source of all this is NPTEL. Okay, now before I start with this, let me tell you there is a lot of difference between what I'm going to cover now and what is mentioned in your textbooks. Okay, they're following different methods to identify the effect of water table. There are some 3 odd methods that are given in your textbooks, but when I referred these notes, I found them the most simplest. If you all want, you all are free to go with those methods, absolutely no issues. Okay, alright, so before I start, you guys need to revise a little bit of Terzaghi's analysis, because I'm going to explain everything in terms of Terzaghi's equation. Okay, the equation for ultimate bearing capacity given by Terzaghi is QF is equal to CNC gamma dF NQ plus 0.5 gamma B into N gamma. Alright, fine. Now the same equation can be given in multiple different ways based on which theory you are adopting. For example, we have so far only covered Terzaghi and Meyerhof. If I am not mistaken, these are the only 2 theories that are there in your syllabus. But there are multiple more. There is Hansen's theory, there is Kempton's. Okay, so the equation might have slight changes. But whatever will be the effect of water table, the way this effect is incorporated in these various equations given by multiple people is same. The changes that you are going to do in the equation are irrespective of equation. What I am trying to say is, because of the presence of water table, primarily this gamma is going to change. What is gamma? Unit weight, right? So when there is water in the soil, otherwise usually we designate unit weight as gamma, that is bulk density. When the water will change, it can go to partial saturation, it can go to complete saturation. So you may designate this as gamma sat. Okay, if the water table is rising at a very high level, then you may even designate this as gamma prime or gamma dash, that is submerged unit weight. Okay, so there are multiple site conditions, multiple types of site conditions. There are, specifically speaking, 4 cases. So based on the type or based on the case, this equation will get slightly modified. Okay, so the moment you know what is the problem statement, if the problem statement is saying or it is suggesting that the site conditions are submerged, then you have to see that the gamma that is used will be submerged. Okay, this is the basic principle behind the entire changes that we are going to incorporate. So if the water table is located very close to the foundation, then the equation will require modifications. However, if the water is present at very large depths, okay, way much below than the foundation level, then we need not do any changes. Okay, so now first rule, if dW, that is the depth of water, is greater than or equal to B. What is B? Width of the footing. Okay, that is when the water table is at a distance below the foundation equal to the width of the foundation or greater than the width of the foundation, then there is no water table correction for overburden or beneath the footing. What is the meaning of this first statement? dW, that is the depth of water table below the foundation. So now over here, if just scroll down, if this is my foundation level dF, so if this is my foundation level, what you can see in dotted line, okay, and the water table is way much below. How much below? So if the width is B, let's say the width is around 2.5 meters and the foundation is 2.5 meters or more below the foundation level, then we need not apply any modifications. However, if the water table is little closer to the foundation level, then you will have to incorporate the changes. Okay. See, the corrections are primarily in these two terms. Okay, I've just rewritten the same equation down in the second term and the third term, because gamma unit weight appears in the second and third term. Okay, this second term is basically talking about overburden. Okay, the second term, gamma into df into NQ, is basically depicting the overburden conditions. What do you mean by overburden? The soil above the foundation level. Okay, so this term, this gamma will change based on the soil conditions above the foundation level. This third term is basically talking about the soil conditions below the foundation level. Okay, so if this soil, whatever is above the foundation level, is getting moistened or it's getting submerged, then this particular term, the second term will change. If the soil below the foundation is getting submerged, then the third term will change. Is that understood? It's very simple. Okay. The second thing that you need to take care of is a lot of problems when the site conditions are submerged. In your solution, you may see instead of gamma dash, okay, you may see gamma sat by 2. As a thumb rule, we are going to take gamma dash is equal to gamma sat by 2, half of the saturated unit weight. What is exact formula? Gamma dash is equal to gamma sat minus gamma W. But we will not do that. As a thumb rule, we will always take submerged density is half the saturated density. So these are thumb rules which you will see again. So there is no need to get confused eventually when we will start solving problems. Okay. So now when you look at this particular diagram, 4 cases are very clearly shown here. Okay, that's why I decided to teach you all this particular concept from NPTEL. Very simple, very simplified cases. What is the case 1? Case 1 is when the groundwater table is right on top. Okay, water table is near the ground surface. Case 2 is what? Water table is below the ground surface but above the foundation level. Case 3, water table is at the foundation level. Case 4 is water table is way below. Okay, there cannot be any more cases. These are the 4 cases, and all these 4 cases, how are we going to tackle? Okay, now the first case, groundwater table is at the ground level. So what happens to the soil which is above the foundation level? If the water table is right on top, what happens to the soil which is above the foundation level? Obviously it is submerged. What happens to the soil which is below the foundation level? That also is going to be submerged. So in case of case 1, what will happen to this equation of yours is this second term and third term. You are directly going to replace the bulk unit weight by submerged unit weight. So use gamma dash for gamma df NQ and 0.5 gamma B N gamma. Okay? Okay. Now case 2 is when water table is below the ground surface but above the foundation level. So now over here, what we are going to do is we are going to introduce the concept of effective stress. Okay. Now what is changing here? The overburden conditions are changing. What about the soil which is below the footing, below the foundation level? It's going to be submerged. So what is going to be a third term? Third term is going to be gamma dash. That is very clear. Now how are we going to tackle this partly submerged and partly non-submerged soil. So over here we are introducing sigma dash. What is sigma dash? We have studied this before. It stands for effective stress, which is given by sigma minus zero. What is sigma? Sigma will be unit weight of the soil into depth of the foundation. So whatever is the depth of the foundation, that into unit weight will give you sigma. And what will be U? U will be given by gamma W into HW. So what will be HW? It's not marked here. HW will be from this dotted line to the foundation level. Is that understood? Okay. So when there is the soil in the overburden is partly submerged, partly not, we are going to introduce sigma dash concept, which is equal to gamma into dF minus gamma W into HW, where HW is the height of water above the foundation level. Okay, and for the third term, as I've already told you, you directly replace gamma by gamma dash. Now let's have a look at case 3. What is case 3? When the water table is at the foundation level. So if the water table is at the foundation level, what will happen to the soil in the overburden? Obviously, it's not going to be affected. You continue using this gamma into dF into NQ term, right? But what about the third term? Third term will be gamma will be replaced by gamma dash. Is this very clear? So when water table is at the base of the footing, there is no correction to the overburden. But beneath the footing, the third term, 0.5 gamma B into N gamma, submerged unit weight will be considered. Excuse my typographical, the spelling is slightly gone wrong. Right? So use gamma for gamma D N Q and gamma dash for 0.5 B gamma N gamma. Right? Now let's go to case 4. What is case 4? Case 4 is when the water table is way below. So when the water table is way below, you will use directly obviously gamma for the second term and gamma for the third term. Okay, but there is a specific case here, that is in case of cohesive soil. Now if you realize, I have used here in granular soils, the presence of water in the soil can substantially reduce the bearing capacity. So all this what I have spoken is the effect is very much enhanced, okay, very much allowed when it is granular soil. What happens in case of cohesive soil? Okay, so this is a special case. Actually, this is not the fourth case, but comes under that category. So if the soil conditions are very cohesive, okay, then for short term or end of the construction condition, we use whatever, it's not necessary Kempton's analysis, any, let's say Terzaghi's equation only if we use, then the equation gets slightly modified. Why I have specifically mentioned Kempton's or Meyerhof, you can even call this as Meyerhof's analysis. This NC value for, when I say cohesive soil, what happens to phi value? Phi becomes 0, right? So for phi 0, NC value, NQ value, N gamma, these are calculated. Yes, so these NC value and NQ value, as per Meyerhof's analysis, for phi is equal to 0, NC value is 5.14, NQ is 1, N gamma is 0. If you try to find out as per Terzaghi's analysis, then this value NC is 5.7. Okay. Then if you go by IS code, again it is 5.4. So these are being used over here. Okay, I have mentioned majority of the cases this NC value is 5.14, NQ is 1 and N gamma is 0, and the equation gets further modified into QF is equal to 5.14C gamma dF. This is a special case. Okay. Now I want to post a question for you all. For clay soil, QF doesn't depend on B. Justify. And second is, net ultimate bearing capacity is unaffected by the width, okay, by the rise of the water table. Okay, the net ultimate bearing capacity is unaffected by rise of the water table in case of clay soil. Justify. Alright, see you all next time. Take care.